Some stories are remembered for the battles they won, others are feared for the choices that shattered the man who survived them. Recap: Renegade Immortal, Chapter 1434 begins in the ashes of the Fire Sparrow Clan, where Wang Lin walks away from a decision that nearly chained him forever beneath the sovereign's shadow. The Holy Land burns behind him, but the greater collapse is hidden inside his heart. After 2,000 years of bloodshed and solitude, Wang Lin no longer fears death. Yet the thought of never awakening Li Muwan is enough to crack the calm he spent centuries building on a forgotten autumn planet beside a silent river covered in drifting leaves. The ancient cultivator who shook the ancient star system whispers a single thought: he wants to go home. But peace was never written into Wang Lin's fate. As suspicion grows over the sovereign's true identity, the hunters of the ancient star system begin to move. Spatial rifts split the heavens apart. Third step cultivators descend with killing intent. The wolves of the Sovereign Council have caught his scent, and this time Wang Lin decides that if the entire star system wishes to hunt him, then he will recover his strength by turning the hunt into a massacre. Before the stars themselves bore witness, before fate revealed its next cruel hand, Wang Lin stood at the edge of a choice that could have shattered everything he had fought for. An invisible force seemed to pull at his soul. It urged him to choose. Yet at the same time, it made him unable to choose. Within that silent struggle, where no blade clashed and no divine ability erupted, a battle far more terrifying unfolded inside his heart. Then, without another word, Wang Lin transformed into a streak of light and departed. Long ago, Dao Master Blue Dream had once forced him to face a choice. Later, the first generation Vermilion Bird had pushed him toward a second. Those experiences had tempered his Dao heart again and again, forging it until it possessed the bearing and resolve worthy of a supreme master of an era. But there was something even more important. Had Wang Lin not entered the memories of Master Simo, had he not witnessed another life so similar to his own, yet walking a completely different road, then perhaps the outcome today would have been different. Perhaps he would have remained behind. Perhaps he would have accepted the sovereign's offer. Perhaps he would have willingly become the sovereign's servant. The sovereign's words had struck directly at the deepest weakness hidden inside Wang Lin's heart. After he left the Fire Sparrow Clan, catastrophe descended upon the Holy Land. The sacred region collapsed. Boundless flames burst forth like enraged heavenly dragons. Fire swept across every direction. The inferno consumed nearly half of the Fire Sparrow Clan. Behind Wang Lin, monstrous waves of crimson fire illuminated the heavens, turning the starry sky blood red. Far away, deafening explosions rolled across the star domain. The universe trembled beneath the destruction. Yet, Wang Lin remained lost within his own thoughts. He did not awaken. He did not turn back. Inside him, it felt as though his heart had been torn apart. Pain flooded every inch of his being. Time passed. How much time had gone by, even Wang Lin could not tell. Eventually, the confusion lingering within his eyes slowly faded. In its place remained only bleakness. The injuries hidden inside his body had already reached a dangerous threshold. If he did not immediately recover, irreversible damage would follow. His cultivation could permanently decline. For ordinary wounds, cultivators at his level could recover without concern. But once injuries reached a truly severe level, the situation became completely different. One careless mistake could send thousands of years of cultivation crashing down. Fortunately, Wang Lin possessed a body unlike ordinary cultivators. He was an ancient god. The vitality of an ancient god was terrifying beyond measure. His physical recovery far surpassed that of normal experts. Wounds that might trap another cultivator in seclusion for a century could often be healed by Wang Lin in a fraction of that time. A bitter smile appeared on his pale face. His lips moved softly. "Waner, trust me. I will awaken you with my own hands. Then you, Pinger, and I, we will leave all of this behind. We will find a quiet mountain village where nobody knows our names. We will live peacefully for the rest of our lives. I want to teach Pinger wood carving too. I want Father's craft to continue." His voice grew softer and softer. As he spoke, a feeling he had not experienced in a very long time surfaced from the depths of his soul: homesickness. He suddenly wanted to see his homeland. He wanted to see the familiar star system where everything had begun. The ancient star system was unimaginably vast, yet no matter how large it was, it never felt like home. The endless stars stretched beyond sight. Countless lights sparkled in the darkness, yet those stars carried no warmth, only coldness. An indescribable loneliness slowly filled Wang Lin's heart. For 2,000 years, he had walked alone. 2,000 years. Such a span was enough to change mountains into seas, enough to turn kingdoms into dust, enough to erase countless lives. He had become accustomed to solitude. The indifference on his face was not something he intentionally displayed. Rather, after spending 2,000 years alone, he had almost forgotten how to wear any other expression. Indifference had become natural. Smiles had become rare. Only the sorrow hidden deep within his eyes remained unchanged. That sorrow had accompanied him through every step of his cultivation journey. It followed him like a shadow that could never be cast away. The bitterness inside his heart caused his injuries to worsen. His body staggered. Then he took a step forward. Spatial bending unfolded. The world rippled around him. In an instant, he crossed an immeasurable distance. When he appeared again, he stood outside an abandoned cultivation planet. Perhaps this world had once enjoyed a glorious age. Perhaps powerful experts had been born here. Perhaps countless cultivators had once gathered beneath its skies. But all glory eventually fades. Now, only ruins remained. Gravel covered the land. Cities stood empty. The spiritual energy that once nourished life had long since vanished. The entire planet resembled an old man nearing the end of his life, struggling, clinging, refusing to surrender his final breath. On the eastern side of the planet, autumn had arrived. Cold winds drifted across the land, yellow leaves rolled over the earth, the mottled colors resembled age spots upon an elderly face. Everywhere one looked, desolation filled the landscape. Leaves danced through the autumn wind. Beyond them, a river quietly flowed. Beside that river sat a lone figure dressed in white. Wang Lin. The wind carried leaves past him without pause. He silently gazed at the water. Some leaves were swept into the river by the breeze. They floated upon the current. After becoming soaked, they drifted farther and farther away. The wind had brought them here. The river would carry them elsewhere. Once they left, they would never return to the place where they were born. Instead, they would journey toward an unknown destination. Perhaps after countless seasons passed, they would sink into the riverbed and become part of the earth. Wang Lin watched quietly. Then a thought surfaced within him. If those leaves possessed souls, perhaps their souls would one day leave the river and find their way back home. The water reflected his figure. Every detail appeared clearly. His pale complexion, his indifferent gaze, the sadness hidden within his eyes. The reflection seemed to merge with the flowing river itself, as though his loneliness were being carried far away by the current. After a long silence, Wang Lin softly spoke. "It is time to return home." There was still another route back. Aside from the sealed realm formation, one more path remained. His thoughts turned toward the jade given to him by the mysterious woman he had encountered within the spatial crack located in the Rank 9 region of the Cloud Sea Star system. Back then, that mysterious woman had asked him for assistance. Afterwards, she had given him the jade. She had told him that once he activated it, he would return directly to that strange spatial crack. Over the years, Wang Lin had examined the jade countless times. Its interior contained layer upon layer of restrictions. Many of them were so profound that even he could not fully comprehend them. More strangely still, those restrictions did not seem to belong to cultivators of this world. They carried traces of another realm entirely. Yet Wang Lin was a grandmaster of restrictions. Even though he could not completely unravel them, he could still make a judgment. In his estimation, the jade possessed roughly a 70% chance of transporting him back into that spatial crack. He held the jade in his hand. For a moment, he looked at it silently, but he did not activate it. Instead, he stored it away once more. Activating the jade required a certain amount of power. That was not the true issue. The real problem was that Wang Lin did not wish to appear before the mysterious woman in his current state. He remained silent for a while. Then he lifted his head toward the blue heavens. A thoughtful look appeared in his eyes. Was he truly the sovereign? The question echoed in his mind. Inside the seven-colored flames, After suffering a severe defeat at Wang Lin's hands, the middle-aged man had openly admitted that he was the sovereign at the time. Wang Lin had accepted those words. But after calming down and reflecting carefully, doubt began to emerge. That man had undoubtedly possessed astonishing strength. He had battled against the vermilion bird origin spirit. He had displayed the divine ability known as fishing the moon in the well. He knew Master Simo. He knew Wang Lin. When all those clues were gathered together, they seemed to fit the image of the mysterious sovereign. Wang Lin slowly analyzed the matter. That person cultivates fire. He possesses the seven-colored vermilion bird. By all logic, he should be the traitorous third vermilion bird. But is he truly the sovereign? The reason Wang Lin had originally connected the third vermilion bird to the sovereign was simple. The sovereign was the most mysterious existence in the entire ancient star system. Nobody knew his true clan. Nobody knew his origins. Long ago, within the demon spirit land, Wang Lin had encountered a cultivator. Later, he learned that man was one of the sovereign's disciples. That disciple had specialized in fire techniques. Moreover, the flames he wielded were extraordinary. They were not something an ordinary cultivator could command. It was obvious that the man had already approached the threshold of fire essence. Combining those clues with numerous other pieces of information, Wang Lin had gradually reached a conclusion. The traitorous third vermilion bird was the sovereign. That conclusion explained many things. It explained why the Sovereign Council understood the truth regarding the fallen land. It explained why they had never dared act recklessly. Yet after meeting the sovereign face to face, Wang Lin's certainty began to crack. His brows furrowed. Qinglin once told me that the sovereign's essence was the essence of origin. But that man never displayed the laws of origin. Most importantly, the sovereign has cultivated for tens of thousands of years. He has repeatedly schemed against the inner realm. He should be unimaginably cunning. He should possess terrifying wisdom. But that middle-aged man, he did not feel like such a person. It was almost as though he was not truly that formidable. Wang Lin remained deep in thought. The more he considered it, the less certain he became, but no answer appeared. Eventually, he released a quiet sigh. There was no point dwelling on the matter. For now, survival was more important. He took out the few medicinal pills he still possessed. One after another, he swallowed them. Then he closed his eyes. Cultivation began. The autumn wind continued to blow. Gradually, Wang Lin's figure became indistinct. His presence merged with the surrounding world. His aura blended with heaven and earth. Even if another cultivator passed nearby, they would likely fail to notice that someone sat beside the river. Time flowed onward. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. The injuries affecting Wang Lin's origin soul had not improved. However, they had stopped worsening. That alone was fortunate. Meanwhile, most of the damage to his physical body had already recovered. If one ignored his divine abilities and cultivation arts, then relying solely on the strength of his 6-star ancient god body, Wang Lin had recovered to roughly half of his peak condition. But he understood something clearly. Time was running out. He had severely wounded the man he suspected might be the sovereign. Such an event would undoubtedly shake the ancient star system. A storm must already be spreading across countless star regions. Pursuers would surely be searching for him. The bounty placed upon his head remained as well. As for the fallen land, that place had already been sealed by others. Even if Wang Lin rushed there immediately, he would not be able to enter. Instead, he would likely walk straight into an ambush. Because of all this, he had devoted every possible moment to recovering his strength. Then the 4th night arrived. While cultivating, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes. A cold light flashed within them. His heart trembled unexpectedly. Ever since reaching his current cultivation level, he had developed a powerful instinct, an instinct that warned him of danger before it arrived. Now that instinct was screaming. Something was wrong. Wang Lin immediately rose to his feet. His gazes swept across the surroundings. His expression darkened. The entire world had become silent. The autumn wind was gone. Not even the slightest sound remained. Night covered the abandoned planet. A bright moon hung high above. Moonlight spilled across the land like silver water. Its glow illuminated the river. Tiny ripples spread across the surface. The fallen leaves drifting in the water began to rotate slowly in circles. Without the slightest hesitation, Wang Lin stepped forward. Ripples spread through the surrounding space. Spatial bending activated instantly. According to normal circumstances, his body should have dissolved into the fabric of the world. He should have merged with space itself. But at that very moment, the heavens exploded with thunder. The sky changed color. A colossal crack suddenly tore open above the planet. An overwhelming pressure descended from the void. The abandoned world trembled violently. Then, from within the giant rift, a massive hand emerged. It pushed through the crack. It stretched across the heavens, and with terrifying speed, it reached directly toward Wang Lin just as he was about to merge into the world. The heavens shattered with a sudden, ear-splitting howl, a sound that was neither storm nor thunder, but the savage cry of a beast that could rend worlds. In that instant, the fabric of reality twisted, and Wang Lin's form, which had already begun to merge with the world itself, was violently expelled. No sooner had he been thrown back than a massive hand, immense and unyielding, surged through the void toward him. It was as if the universe itself had conspired to predict his every move, to anticipate his escape through spatial bending, and then to strike him down with this terrifying wolf-like roar. The hand closed in like a collapsing mountain. Its aura was thick with Joss flames, a power far beyond a second-step cultivator. Wang Lin's instincts screamed the truth. This was the mark of a third-step cultivator, one freshly stepped into the domain of Nirvana Void, possessing a tyranny of energy that pressed down on him like the weight of a storm. Without hesitation, Wang Lin spun around, summoning a nail into his grasp. Black as midnight and radiating a sinister gleam, the nail seemed alive, mourning with faint, sorrowful cries. It was a gift from the old man, a token forged from the remnants of the old vermilion bird. With a swift flick, Wang Lin hurled the nail toward the incoming palm. In a blink, it became a tempest of black wind, colliding with the descending hand. The impact was cataclysmic, a thunderous boom that echoed across the void. Ink-black fractures spread along the arm like crawling shadows, and the force of the strike shattered the hand into ashes, drifting like dying embers on an autumn wind. Yet even as the hand dissolved, the oppressive aura struck him, and Wang Lin coughed blood, his body trembling under the weight of the attack. Viciously, he waved his hand, sending the ancient leaf shooting forward like a meteor toward the gaping spatial rift. "Seal!" he commanded. The ancient leaf swelled, stretching beyond 100 feet, 1,000 feet, then 10,000, sealing the rift in a single, decisive moment. The rift roared in protest, but Wang Lin stepped forward, merging with the world, vanishing like a phantom with spatial bending. 3 breaths later, the leaf shimmered and dissolved into scattered motes of light. Wang Lin re-emerged in the vast expanse of the ancient star system. His right hand formed a precise seal. "Fallen leaf, return to your roots." A crystal light flared, and the ancient leaf materialized before him. The cold glint in his eyes sharpened, and he disappeared again, slipping through the void like a shadow. "I cannot return to that spatial crack in the cloud sea in my current state. The Sovereign Council's pursuit has reignited, but danger has always been my companion. Let them chase. Let the strongest cultivators reveal themselves." Wang Lin's grin was sharp as a blade. "While hunted, I shall feast on their essence to restore my cultivation." Far below, the sealed rift dissolved, and a figure emerged from the shadows, 30 feet tall, his bare chest rippling with muscle. The man's gaze burned with merciless intent. Across his brow was the mark of a ferocious green wolf, the symbol of the esteemed Heavenly Wolf Clan, one of the 4 infamous ancient star system families, acting under the Sovereign Council's command. Perched on his broad shoulder was a girl, radiant and beguiling, her beauty a stark contrast to the feral aura of her companion. Between her brows was a strange mark, the insignia of the enigmatic Sealing Extermination Clan, a symbol that Wang Lin recognized all too well. She had once forced him to the brink of death, and the memory of her deadly Dao spell still haunted his mind. Though the girl had yet to ascend to the 3rd step, dwelling only at the 3rd heaven's blight, she wielded a compass and a quiet authority. Bowing slightly, she raised her gaze and smiled, her voice as enchanting as a nightingale's song. "Directly east, 197,045 kilometers, but your right arm is poisoned. Combat power reduced by 30%. Without my assistance, the toxin will not be easily removed." The giant let out a low snort, each step shaking the abandoned planet beneath him. Earth cracked and collapsed as he advanced, the very world trembling under his might. With a sweep of his hand, he formed the destructive force into a ball of light, hurling it into the void. The cosmos twisted as a black hole formed, swallowing his essence as he stepped inside. Wang Lin, ever fluid, twisted through the ancient star system with spatial bending. The ancient leaf flew from his hand, landing precisely atop the newly formed black hole. "Seal," he uttered, voice calm but unwavering. He glimpsed the girl on the shoulder of the burly man, the mark between her brows striking his mind like lightning, and then he vanished once more. The black hole raged, yet the ancient leaf held firm. Another black hole appeared nearby, and the hulking, esteemed heavenly wolf cultivator emerged. His gaze falling upon the leaf, it dissolved into crystal light before him. The girl's voice rang out, teasing yet calculating. "Do not underestimate him. Were he uninjured, your level alone would not capture him. Northwest, 378,496 kilometers." The burly man's expression hardened, but he dared not affront the girl. She was the maid of Tao Master Miao Yin, one of the 5 masters of the ancient star system, and her intervention was not to be defied. "Your master seeks the ancient order tomb. My pursuit is to ensure he does not escape too far," she said with a knowing smile. The man said nothing, stepping forward, disappearing into the void. Northwest, 2,798,461 kilometers, a branch of your own esteemed Heavenly Wolf Clan. Wang Lin emerged from distorted space, facing 6 cultivation planets arranged in a circle. A protective formation glimmered across them, an illusory wolf head marking them unmistakably as part of the esteemed Heavenly Wolf Clan. A grim snort left Wang Lin's lips. He surged forward, blood fog erupting from his body. Flesh, origin soul, and soul alike became a devouring red mist, expanding rapidly to 100,000 feet, engulfing the branch of the esteemed Heavenly Wolf Clan. The formation flared in a desperate attempt to halt him, but failed. The blood mist swept through a cultivation planet, and mournful cries rang out, then fell abruptly silent. Cultivators above a certain level were consumed entirely, their essence absorbed into the mist. The carnage spread across the remaining planets, their collective screams echoing unnaturally across the stars. These planets, freshly established by the esteemed Heavenly Wolf Clan, held no mortals, only cultivators, and the blood mist left none standing. A black hole erupted among the stars, and the hulking wolf warrior stepped forth. The screams reached him, twisting his body with monstrous intent. With a deafening roar he charged, the heavens trembling as he moved. Behind him, the projection of a colossal green wolf manifested, heralding the fury of a legend awakened.